So I have with me here Felix, Romark, a Ghanaian sports journalist who was here at Expressa after Chris Hughton addressed the media concerning Ghana. Mr. Felix, your impression about Ghana's performance today?
Well, I wasn't impressed. A bit disappointing, but not surprising. We've been playing poorly in recent games, so it was something that was coming. If you look at our previous games, especially when we are playing, I won't call them minnows, against teams that you would think that Ghana should be riding over them. But it's been a very difficult few years for Ghana at AFCON. Now we've won only one game in our last 10 AFCON games, so that should be very, very worrying. But I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised, because in recent times we've been very disappointing. We've not been playing very, very well. And truth be told, I don't think a lot of Ghanaians would be surprised about the results this evening.
I mean, if you look at our setup from our goalkeeping department to the attacking force, which department do you feel lacked a lot of hard work? And if the shooting should put in enough energy or enough consistency in that department, we could probably get a result against 7 times champions Egypt on our next day.
I think that if I look at the whole department, from goalkeeper to defense to midfield and in attack, there hasn't been consistency. Especially, we don't even have a spine. When you are building a team, a spine is very, very important, especially when you are even going for a tournament. So when I talk about a spine, you have to have a very consistent, good goalkeeper, have a solid defensive pairing in terms of maybe traditionally your 4 and 5, and then in midfield you need a very good pivot and then an arrowhead in attack. But we don't have them. If you look at Richie Dofori, has been in and out of the team. If you look at the back four that started today, Gideon Mensah, Jiku, and then Salisu, and then Audrey, they haven't played together for a very long time. Jiku and Salisu have been out injured, so that understanding hasn't been there. In midfield, there have been times we've played Salish and Baba as a double pivot, which for me I think look very identical. Today he didn't play that identical double pivot, went with Majid Ashimero. So we haven't had a very consistent midfield as well. In attack, Antoine Semenyo started the game today with Pentel and then Jordan Ayew. So we haven't had consistency in that play. So the key thing for this team and the major problem for this team is that you don't have consistency. And sometimes when you don't have that consistency, it is difficult for you to build a unit. You need consistency to do that, but currently we don't have that. And I think that I'm also disappointed in Chris, because I feel that if you look at when he was with the team, 1 year he had a technical capacity role with the team, more like a national service. Everybody wanted him to get the job. So I was thinking that his time in the technical capacity with the team should have given him an idea as to when he gets the job, what he needs to do. But I haven't seen an improvement since he took over from the team, and that is where my disappointment is. It is going to be tough for us, because we find ourselves in a very difficult group, and it became more difficult with that huge results Mozambique had against the Egyptians the game before Ghana played.
My last question, you clearly stated that we find ourselves in a very difficult group, which I clearly understand and know it's true. Our next game is against Egypt. You watch the Egyptians drew 2-2 against Mozambique today. Do you think we stand a chance? And even if you stand a chance, what do you think Chris Hughton should do right to be able to get that vital win against Egypt?
Well, if I have to be very realistic with you, I don't think we stand a very good chance against the Egyptians. They are very good. They've had consistency because they have one of the best leagues in Africa. They will come in with a lot of elderly players who have been consistent playing and winning. The CAF Inter-Club competition. They've been to the FIFA World Club Championship. There is Pyramid as well, which have contributed a lot to their team. And then there is Mohamed Salah, which is very, very huge for the Egyptians. So honestly, if I have to be very honest with you, I can tell you that it is a game that I'm not expecting Ghana to win. But it is football. I don't think that you look at Mozambique game against Egypt. Nobody gave them Mozambicans a chance to get the results against Egypt. Equatorial Guinea earlier on got a huge results against Nigeria. So it's football. Anything can happen. But if I have to pick a favorite, I don't think Ghana will be that favorite. But there have been moments where Black Stars go into a very crucial game, and then what do? They pick up the win. We are all being hopeful. But I have to tell you this, as a Ghanaian and with recent performance, I'm a bit, I'm a bit worried because I don't really think that we've been good in recent games to get a good result against the Egyptians. Maybe the team will surprise all of us and beat the Egyptians.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to LinusNarteyTV. My name is LinusNartey. I have with me here Tilda, Acorlor, a Ghanaian sports journalist who was here for the press when Chris Hughton addressed the media after Ghana considered to lost 2-1 against Cape Verde in the opening game of the 2023 AFCON. Ms. Tilda, your general impression about today's performance?
One word, disappointing. I'm very, very much disappointed about the performance. It was not too much disappointing, but because we were not taking our chances and the behavior of the coach as well, from pre-tournament to the tournament in itself, we didn't get access to the team and all, thinking it's going to do so much well. All that we're thinking also was that there are good plans in place, and I was so much hopeful. Just to wrap it up to say that nothing was happening at all with the team. So for me, I'm so much more impressed with our first game, especially our opener. But all hopes are not lost yet. It's just an opener. It's not just, but it's just an opener. We just have to go back and then rewrite or do our homework well and meet Egypt and subsequently Mozambique and see how it will go.
Okay, if you look at our department, I mean, from goalkeeping to striking force, where do you think we lack a lot of creativity? And even if we should put in match work, we could probably get a result against Egypt in our next game.
Attacking. I want to take it from the Cape Verde's coach, what he said. He has learned something from the Black Stars moving into this game. I wanted to ask the question at the presser. I wanted to ask Coach Chris Hughton that what has he learned from Cape Verde going into this game, but I was not given the opportunity to ask the question. The Cape Verde coach has learned something. What has our coach learned? Attacking was where our problems were. And I was also not happy with the fact that Richard Ofori were making a little bit of blunder there. I felt his gloves were slippery and all, but hey, that's it.
Okay, my very last question. I mean, you watched Egypt drew 2-2 against Mozambique, a result nobody expected. But then, if you look at our team that we face Cape Verde today, do you think we still have a chance to come up against the 7-time champions in our next game?
Tournaments of this nature pulls up a lot of surprises. We're surprised Egypt actually ended its game 2-2. I'm not too surprised that Ghana lost, but I'm not happy that Ghana lost in this game. We just have to pick ourselves up back and then see how it will go. Tournament comes with a lot of surprises. I'm still up for it. Positive surprises is what we are looking for the Black Stars. Wishing the Black Stars the very best in this tournament.
Thank you very much. Okay. So I have with me here Bismark Ayala from the Ghanaian sports journalist who was here for the first time when Chris Hughton addressed the media after Ghana lost 2-1 against Cape Verde in our first opening. Bismark, your general impression about today's performance?
I think it was generally not good enough. We didn't deserve anything from the game on the balance of play, and it's not surprising too because we've lacked the basis of a good team since Chris Hughton took over the Black Stars. We are not able to defend well. We are not able to attack well. We are not able to hold on to possession. We are not able to pass well. So the basis of a good team, the Ghana Black Stars have lacked it under Coach Chris Hughton, and it was just a matter of time that we exposed ourselves on an international tournament like the AFCON under him. And today everything came together and we saw the results. We are just not good enough.
I mean, if you look at today's performance, I mean, from every department, where do you think that we had a lot of issues or problems? And if we should step up in our next game against Egypt, we will probably get a point or even a surprise win against the 7-time champions?
The best answer is, I think we were lacking at every department of the game. You could see the segregation of our team. There's no coordination, and once every department is not playing its part very, very well, it affects the whole spine of the team. But in terms of the most, when it comes to disappointing, I think I will go for the defensive network, starting from the goalkeeper. Of course, he's not playing with his club. He's rusty. Ofori is very, very rusty, and you could tell that anytime the ball went to him,
even in a stance, we're not so confident that our goalkeeper is the best one in the sticks, and he fumbled with a lot of the balls. His decision making sometimes was very, very jittery. His command over his defenders and general organization was problematic. And for me, the worst disappointment will come from our back line. If you ask Ghanaians prior to this tournament, in terms of the call-ups, which centre back play they would wish, they would have told you easily that Jiku and Salisu will be our best bet. Today we saw them, and you could clearly see that their partnership is so new. They didn't understand each other very, very well. They were disappointing, and they couldn't do what we expected from them. Our lateral defenders were the worst part of our game. Dennis Odo was all over the place. Baby was taking him inside out. He couldn't run. He couldn't defend. He couldn't attack. Gideon Mensah was giving us a lot of problems in terms of mistakes and upon mistakes. He couldn't pass the ball. He couldn't do anything in terms of transition. He couldn't give us solid performance as a defender. So for me, yes, every department was awful, but the defensive network, considering our goalkeeper and our backline, was just off the game, and we considered two very, very avoidable goals, and we are the losing end.
One very last question before you. Coach Chris Hughton did not accept the fact that his changes caused the defeat. Do you agree to that assertion made by him?
I'm not expecting Coach Chris Hughton to come here and say, "Hey, hands up, blame me. I made mistakes." No, he's not that type of coach that admits mistakes. But you could clearly see during his press conference, he was talking about momentum, and at a point in time, we were on top of the game after equalizing. Now we were on top of the game because the same set of players were just trying to grind back into the game. After the equalizer, just few minutes after that, he made those 3 substitutions. And it was so clear, evidently, that those substitutions killed the momentum, and he admitted it here. So if he will not accept it, for us who watch the game, for everyone who watch it, we clearly know that the changes that he did killed the momentum of the Blasters. And in terms of measurements, what was the impact of those substitutions that he made? You didn't come in to do anything. He couldn't add anything to the game. Yes, Nyama had glimpses of and flashes of a good player, but overall, it wasn't so telling on the team. And Inaki, as usual, has not turned up for any Blasters game, and today was evident. So yes, I'm not expecting him to admit, but we know that he really made very, very bad decision in bringing the players in at that particular point in time when we had the equalizer and we're building our momentum into the team. I saw one thing when the substitutes, those who were coming on were at the touchline. I saw Semenyo telling Jordan, "Look, the coach is bringing Inaki in, and I'm just starting to up my game." And he had missed a chance, and you could see that Semenyo was trying to hit himself into the game. And hey, he was substituted. Bad substitution. And Coach Chris Hughton must have himself to blame for the lose that we had today. He's the most unpopular person now in every Ghanaian camp you come to Abidjan, and that is of course the truth.
We will hopefully walk out of this tournament if we lose against 7 times Egypt in our next game. Do you think we stand a chance?
I watched Egypt against Mozambique. The team I watched today and the performance of the Ghanaian team, to be honest with you, unless we do 3 times what we did today, we don't stand a chance of beating the Pharaohs.
All right, thank you very much.